Good evening and welcome to MetroFocus. I'm Jack Ford. In 2008, the Washington Post team that responded to the Virginia Tech shootings were awarded a Pulitzer Prize. That's the kind of recognition that journalists aspire to. But for one of the Washington Post reporting team, it was an award that would instill fear. For Jose Antonio Vargas, the attention could potentially unearth a secret he'd held close for years: the fact that he was an undocumented citizen. But 3 years later, Vargas decided to go public, revealing his secret and his story in the New York Times Magazine. And he has now written a memoir documenting his journey from the shadows. It's titled Dear America, Notes of an Undocumented Citizen. And we're delighted to welcome Jose Antonio Vargas to the program. It's so nice to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me, to give our viewers a little sense of context, ask you to start off this conversation we're going to have with a kind of a brief capsulization of how you got here, when you first discovered who you were and what you were about, and what you had to do then to become a journalist.
Yeah, so I was born in the Philippines. One morning, my mother woke me up and my bags were packed. And she said I was going to America to live with her parents, my grandparents, and that she would follow. So before I knew it, I was on a plane. I got here in 1993 in Mountain View, California, where Silicon Valley is. And I thought everything was fine. You know, both my grandparents are naturalized American citizens, so I didn't think anything was wrong. And then 4 years later, I went to the DMV to get a driver's license, a driver's permit. And that's when I found out that the green card that my grandfather had given me was fake. And that's when I started unearthing all the lies that they had to tell to get me here. My grandfather couldn't petition me to come here. He couldn't legally bring me here because grandparents are not allowed to bring their grandkids here. It's not a close enough of a relationship. And my grandfather lied on a government form, and so my mother couldn't come either. So my grandfather's plan was get me here illegally. I would work under the table as a janitor where his brother was working at the flea market. And I would marry a woman who's a U.S. citizen. And that's how I would live here. That was his plan. I was 16 and I already kind of realized that I was gay. And so I actually came out to my grandfather as gay because I said I didn't want to have to lie to equal his lie. And then shortly after all of this, my English teacher, Mrs. Doer, said I asked too many annoying questions and I should do this thing.
You should do it for a living, right?
And I should do this thing called journalism, which I didn't know anything about. You know, I come from a family of farmers and construction workers and people who joined the Navy. Like, you know, I didn't know journalism. But I found out that when you become a journalist, you get a byline in the paper. Your name would be on a piece of paper. So I thought writing and having my name on the newspaper was a way of existing and a way of contributing. That was literally the only reason why I became a journalist.
So you then decide to follow that path, and you achieve extraordinary success as a journalist. But while you're doing that, you've talked about this, you have to continue to keep some part of you in the shadows. Why then did you decide that it's important for me to tell my story, and now is the time?
The only ID I had, the only piece of identification I had from the government was my Oregon driver's license, right? Which expired within 8 years, it was expiring. And it was February 3rd, 2011, which was my exact 30th birthday. And so to be undocumented in this country means that my life is literally dependent on pieces of papers. You know, how do you get a job without a driver's license, right? Like, so that was expiring. And then I started talking to immigration lawyers to try to figure out how much trouble I was in. Because I lied in all the government forms to get jobs. I lied to all of my employers, right? And the lawyers started telling me that I was in big trouble, that lying about being a U.S. citizen is the highest offense you could make. One lawyer actually said to me, "You're not supposed to make it this far, Mr. Vargas." I was supposed to have gotten caught at some point. So when she said that, I was like, well, but I did make it, quote unquote, this far. And I thought as a journalist who happens to be undocumented, that it was my responsibility to kind of interrogate that, to understand what that is. So that's why I came out as undocumented.
Let's now talk about the book. I think the title is important because as I was reading it, I got a sense that This is a conversation you're having, an intimate conversation with somebody with whom you're having a troubled relationship. Why then did you decide now it's time to take that next step and to write this book?
Well, first of all, I didn't want to write this book. I didn't. My original concept for the book was totally different than what it ended up being. I wanted to write a book about global migration. I wanted to understand what citizenship requires and what it means in all these other countries where people like me are moving to, legally or illegally. And then this book ended up being much more psychological, as you know, having read it. It's much more, what does this feel like? Because honestly, I never asked myself that. I was too busy trying to just keep working and keep distracting myself from what this is to never allow myself to feel what this is. So the book for me, you're absolutely right. I wanted it to be a conversation with this country. And the dear part of Dear America to me is also, I love this country. If I didn't, I would have already left. But most of us have been here for more than 10 years. Most of us, were intoxicated and are intoxicated by the idea of America, by what it says it is. And that's why we choose to stay.
What is your current legal situation?
I have no authority from the US government to be in this country. So I'm undocumented, unauthorized. I am here illegally. That's my situation. I have no DACA, right? I was 3 months too old to qualify for DACA. There are only 3 ways that I could become legal. 1, a pardon from the president. I'm not going to do that. And Donald Trump is not going to give me a pardon. 2, I grew up in California, asking a senator or a congress member to actually introduce a private bill so that I, and only I, could become a U.S. citizen. What does that say to the 11 million people who may not have even the resume that I have? 3rd is we would pass some sort of immigration reform, whatever that may be, and it would provide immunity. So all the fraud that I committed would be excused. So those are the only 3 ways. And I think we know, given how broken this Congress is, I don't know when Congress is going to pass, quote unquote, immigration reform and what that even looks like.
I think it's going to, for people who are smart enough to take a look at this book, it'll give them an entirely new, perhaps, context within which to view this issue and to try to figure out how we wrestle with this issue so that we can preserve our system and preserve people such as you who we want to keep in this country. Jose, it's, again, difficult issues, and we certainly are very respectful of your willingness to come forward and to deal with these.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you again for the conversation, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with you again down the road.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you be well.